Everybody, Dave Weigel, Family Court Fraud Warrior Project. Happy Halloween. Boy, we have a big announcement tonight. A big announcement. I am exhausted and I would have rather pushed this off till tomorrow, but it's just too important of a message and too important of a day, because this is a message that everybody, the most amount of people that are here, and certainly the people that are here for the right reasons, really wants to listen to. All right, everybody wants to know, what's this group do? How is what this group does going to help me with my case, my next appearance, my specifics? I don't understand how this focus on the whole, using the law for defense and the media for offense, and it's not a court of law. I just don't get it. Pay attention here. We're going to explain it. Okay, because this week started off like most of my weeks. A case that we know very, very well. I get that frantic call at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, early in the week. Another woman, another mom, crying, desperate crying. Dave, they're going to take her. They're going to take her. They're going to take her tomorrow. They're going to take her. They're going to take her. Talking a mile a minute. Hold on. Slow down. What's going on? They're going to take her. They're going to take full custody away from me. We knew this. It's because I'm talking. It's because I'm talking to you. It's because I'm... Hold on. Okay. We got this. And boy, did we ever. Okay, because for those who are paying attention to the messaging this morning even, and saw a really, really important post I put up there saying, breaking news, Black Widow, more disgust. If there is one post that you really, really dissect and think through, line by line, let it be this one. I'm going to take you through some of the thought processes here, because I think this could be really, really helpful for the massive amount of people that have come in a hurry, and the biggest pushback that we get in the confusion about what it is that we do and how we're having these successes, because yet again with this person, a couple of weeks ago she was going to jail until our alternative strategies stopped that from happening, and that was a success. And then she was gutter served again. 400 pages. She had to respond, be in court in 2 days today, 11:30. And it was their intention, absolutely, to take her daughter, take full custody away from her, an innocent woman. We knew that they'd be coming back and saying, this isn't done. We might have thrown a monkey wrench into their program, but they're not done. Somebody that's a power monster addiction person. Okay, no. They're not going to just fold on the first pushback. No, we knew where this was going. Okay, they're blaming her, saying that she owns the Family Court Fraud Warrior Project. She's responsible for our reporting. You wait and see how we dealt with this, because yes, indeed, the end result today was success number 20 for the Warrior Project. No, she did not get her daughter taken from her. She did not lose full custody of her daughter. Not at all. What she did get is the judge to recuse herself. And now the only judge left is one that doesn't like the attorney. And the end result today is the monster attorney that we've been reporting on, fuming, running out of that courthouse today. The other GAL, scared. And we're going to show you how and why. So again, everybody that is out there wondering, how is it that this case can help me right now? My case, my current case. No. We're not just talking about cases that, I don't know where this came from some pushback, that we're only taking 20-year cases or something. No, you just landed on 2 that happen to be old. Okay, take a look around. But this most definitely is a current case. So I thought we'd just take a couple of minutes to just go through the weaving of the message that we put out just today. Okay, just this morning today. All right, again, this is the breaking news, Black Widow, more disgust, post from earlier today on October 31st. And again, what we're getting into here is a lot of people have posted stuff on Facebook. A lot of people have been revealing things, all right, pointing out lies, right? let me explain how it intertwines to so much more that we've been doing. Okay, so number one, they're following us. They know exactly how many people are following us. They're following. I mean, look. Okay, if you've got all this money on the line, this is the thing that hurts you. Okay, being outed nationally. So believe you me, there's probably not more than a handful of family courts in the country now that don't know we exist. We get calls every single day, people saying, yeah, they knew you, they knew of you. Yeah. Okay, that's not surprising. It has nothing to do with us or me. That has to do with just how guilty they are and how much they know what we've done here has the ability to stop what they're doing and reveal them and embarrass them and bring them pain, okay, in their, not physical pain, every other kind of pain. So we said, okay, calling all warriors. Right then and there, calling all warriors. What did they see just recently? They just saw 500 people call down in Louisiana and get Amy's kid out in 24 hours with bail, okay? Now, some people might sit there and say, oh, what is that? That's nothing. You didn't win your case, okay? There's a whole long run. Yeah, absolutely. But anyone who has dealt with the horror and the misery that is being thrown into jail as an innocent person, when they come and they pick you up on Friday after court closes, and they're telling you, no, we're doing this, so you're in there the whole weekend, and you say, not with what we've built to protect our citizens. And it gets out Saturday night. No, that is a success, because we're judging as successes anything that anyone in that situation would be damn well happy to have had the experience for themselves. That is what we're considering. So calling all warriors right there makes them think, oh shit, how many are there? What if 500 call our courthouse? Who's gonna answer those calls? How much is that gonna come back to me? How's that gonna reflect on me if I'm the reason they see it's my case that's causing these 500 calls, these 1,000 calls? So right off the bat, calling all warriors, right? Then we have to reveal the silver bullets, right? A lot of people have revealed the silver bullets. It's going around, it's not news, right? We've been doing it for 3 years and putting it up on this permanent public ledger. The backstory of what we've done over 3 years matters here when we come out and we say it and said, okay, calling all warriors. Helen Garber got gutter served yesterday by 400 pages of playbook lies. They know that's what we're going after. They know that's the whole purpose of this entire mission, is not to look case by case, is what does it reveal looking at all these cases together. They know how damning that approach is. And then we go into, okay, but is there a sea change underway? Has Judge Leo Diana, the Warrior Project's Hall of Fame, of Hartford, Connecticut, has he rubbed off on the recently Weigel scolded Judge Rakoff? Now, let's dissect this here, okay? So we're suggesting right away that we're seeing this behavioral change that we're talking about. No more is this just a free-for-all of treating kids like commodities and a land grab for money, right? We're saying, is a sea change underway? We've already, and they're making their question. Wait a second, they 1 week this guy is out there, breaking into court and screaming at this judge's face, telling her that we're on you, we're watching you now. Is he some lunatic that hates judges? Or wait a second, his organization is putting another judge on a wall of fame? Yes. We here support, okay, hate criminals in robes, okay, that are acting as judges, and absolutely, we're 1,000% behind judges that are doing the right thing. We just like to find more than one or two. So right there, we're already suggesting something that plants a seed. All right, puts the judge in a position to make the decision we want her to make, right? Is a sea change underway? Is this now a different thing going on where they're going to actually, follow the law, right? And get some thinking, what the hell is this, wall of fame stuff, right? Planting the seed, all right? We're not fighting this court case in court, only to their ears. How is all this resonating to everybody else out there in the world with respect to all the storytelling that we've been doing leading up to this point, right? So we're planting a seed there, right? We're keeping them guessing. Wait a second, do they hate judges? Do they love judges? right? This is strategy, right? Now, a little bit more detail here. So again, putting the judge in the position, right? We don't have to make an enemy out of every single one of them, right? Already the attorney is as guilty and as evil as you could possibly get. We need the judge to make the right decision here, right? So say, Judge Rakoff overturns most recent hijack attempt of the 10-year-old daughter at school yesterday. Okay, judge awards retained custody to Helen, right? If only for another day. So taking that apart, right? Number one, we're revealing the most recent disgust. This Black Widow disgust. What was her attempt? Oh, no. Now that she's been talking to the press, no, not spilling the beans to social media. Reporting to the press, reporting to this community watchdog organization. Let's characterize it the right way. So, number one, we're revealing the evil. 6 cop cars show up at this 10-year-old school. 6 cop cars? All we know about childhood traumas, that's necessary at the child's school. And with all that corruption and commotion, it was all a show, okay? As was a 400-page complaint against Helen. All this woman did was repackage all of her complaints against her and said it was her fault, and how dare she even accuse her of that, because lawyers get paid by the pound, right? So, oh my God, 400 pages, there must be something there, right? Obviously, you can't be bullshit if it's 400 pages. Okay, difference between, reality and optics, right? So, already we put the judge in the position, we hold her out to say, bravo, judge, right? This was the day before court. The day before court, they tried to hijack the child right then and there. Wasn't legal. Helen came forward with the proper documentation. The judge kept the child with Helen. Thwarted. Scum move thwarted. Right then and there. Right? But now we're, again, putting the judge in the position to make the decision we want her to make. Right? And that is to not hurt this innocent victim any longer. Right? So then we say, still, Helen must respond to 400 pages of this playbook lies today at 11:30. Right? So we're alerting our whole group of warriors out there, our whole almost 11,000 now. And now this is a very important call out. Warriors, please be prepared to voice your demand for due process. Boom. Now they're thinking. They saw last week. They saw that 500 people, 500 warriors picked up the phone for somebody else, acted selflessly, picked up the phone, came to Amy's son's back, and knocked the cover off the ball. Right? 5 people calling, don't do it. 500 tells a different story. Right? So by sitting here and announcing, boom, 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 APB is out. Warriors, be prepared. Yeah, the culprits heard that warning. The culprits heard it. Okay? Now we go into the next. This community watchdog organization, yes, the other thing they're trying to say is she's spilling the beans to social media. No. This community watchdog organization has learned of a very troubling $20,000 cash withdrawal just 2 days before the trial started. Actually, it had nothing to do with this judge, it was the previous judge, but still, we got that information very, very recently, so we are now planting the seed on where the future pain is going to be coming from. Oh, no. If you don't make this case go away, this is where our sights are, okay? And I'm asking the question. They know I'm from Wall Street. They know I'm a fiduciary. So I ask, what legal transaction is ever done in cash in 2025? Very interesting. Oh, I know the answer. None. And this is all stuff that hasn't come out in this case yet, but will. And we're planting this seed right during court. They're getting both of these messages. They're getting every one of these messages, except they don't control what message we put out on this venue. We're not playing with their game pieces. We're not playing on their game field. We're playing on something that they don't control. And that's the difference between what a lot of people are doing on Facebook, okay, or through the traditional channels, rather, okay? So I'm not gonna go over each and every piece of this, but I hope you guys are understanding where a lot of this stuff intertwines, right? So now we start saying here, from multiple sources, we've learned that this attorney who fucks her clients, yeah, that's the Richard Luthman article. That's what we've determined is true and accurate. Yeah, this judge, this attorney, Elizabeth Faulkner, has on multiple occasions not only gone in, and yes, she hijacks the mother's kids, destroys her life with lies, then moves in with the children that she stole. I mean, that's Black Widow shit right there. So again, that's what works in media. Black Widow, right? That's a pretty nice tagline there, all right? That's what works in media, all right? So, also, from multiple sources, again, they're trying to connect Helen to the Warren Project and say, Helen is responsible for all of our reporting. Whatever we report, that we got the information from Helen. No, we have multiple sources and it's going on permanent public record. And we reveal the shame, right? We got a wall of shame, wall of fame. We reveal the evidence of the shame. The news is out. Facts are in. On like 2 or 3 occasions, this attorney fucks her clients. So that's coming down the pike. And we're letting them know what's coming down the pike, right? So now we have to introduce the pain. So the next thing I write is, all right, yeah, Dave, we know these lawyers have been able to get away with insane stuff forever and ever and ever, right? But now I'm really happy with how this came out because we've been taunting the regulators and I have obviously our eyes on the regulators big time right now. But I love how this came out. I said, FBI, how much? How much evidence of this raving criminal are you going to let accumulate before it's your family reputation on the line? Let's take that apart a little bit. FBI, this is your job. Regulators, this is your job. This is outrageous now. I mean, Black Widow, 2, 3 times. Attorney is having sex with her own clients, stealing the kids and moving in with them. That's not an ethics violation. Now that it's getting public, this kind of absurdity matters and they know it. But then that connection now, I told you guys from the beginning, you got to get into their world, what matters to them, right? So the FBI is like, oh, I'm not stepping in first. I'm not stepping in first. I'm not stepping in first. Now we just made a real great case for who's going to step up first and why. How long is it going to be? How long is it going to be before we make the connection on who's stationed to which courthouse and who are the actual agents responsible? Who are the managers responsible? Who is this? Where does the buck stop at the FBI for allowing America's Auschwitz to get to this level of thousands of victims, right? And that's what they don't want. They don't want their kid to go to school and be like, hey, is your dad that FBI? I hear they're calling the FBI America's Nazis now. Wow, that's a real shameful job that you got. Yeah, so your dad's treasonous? Your dad's guilty of treason? Your mom is guilty of treason? Yeah, they don't want their kids to face that at school, right? Unfortunately, when you're in an environment where there is no traditional law enforcement system in place, this public shaming is the only option. And this is how it works. This is what they care about. This is what moves the needle to them, right? This is what we're getting into their head. And this is these alternative strategies that we're talking about that nobody seems to connect it up of how's this helping my case? Because you're getting into the players' heads of what matters to them. This was a really important piece, that FBI call out. But then we go even further and we say, and this is something that we've done previously and we've held this out. You preempt what they're going to do to you. Most people know. Most people know, oh my God, they're bringing me into court. They're going to definitely do this to me. Yes, when you know it, preempt it. Get it out first on permanent public record and say, I can't be guilty of that. They're going to do this, it's going to be a lie, and you do it ahead of time. And that's what we did here. Will the GAL actually submit false evidence that she was threatened by someone that claims to be part of the Warrior Project? Yeah, they're trying to make that connection too. Why? Because they have to. Because the only way they can shut us down is if somebody from the Warrior Project, which means me and 4 employees, okay, actually from our site threaten this woman's life. Yeah, right, like that happened. So we said the only logical thing, that if this was submitted, okay, let it be published here first. No, we're publishing it here on this town hall of records, right? Let it be published here first, that this is the next crime that's going to be committed by this corrupt crew. No one in my employment or who represents the Warrior Project would ever physically threaten anyone. Boom, preempted. It's on the record before they try pulling it. Makes a difference. Makes a difference, right? I said, you got to offer the actual solution then, right? Okay, what's the next step? Well, if it's submitted, then there's only going to be 2 possible options here. Either she just threw it out there with no evidence whatsoever, or it's going to be doctored evidence. That is a crime. Now, most times they're sitting there saying, yeah, so what? Okay, who's stopping me? Who's stopping me? Well, yeah, in the courts, you could say that, who's stopping? But when we find out and we report it, then it's a crime in the mind of the court of public opinion and everybody that's watching this. And that's what matters. So now the next thing we go into is none of this information came from Helen Garber. Let's just be absolutely clear right off the bat. No, none of this information that we got came from Helen Garber, as we now have multiple sources in and outside the courthouse. Very, very important. They feel the walls coming in. Right? They know the story of the last time we were up there. And I looked over my shoulder and I said to the cops there, we're on I'm on your side. We reported that. They heard it. Now they're walking around the courthouse wondering, is that guy, is that the one that's talking to the Warrior Project? Is she talking to the Warrior Project? Now the good people in these systems are feeling a little bit of pep in their step, right? They got a little bit of power. Maybe that breeds more good people. That's the idea here. That's the idea here. So now the closer. Thank you. Thank you, concerned citizens of Ulster County, New York. Don't worry. As I promised, we'll wait for what, 10, 15, 20. 20 confirmed witnesses, all with the evidence of the same playbook and the same conspirators. Now we're really getting in their head. Now we're really getting in their head. Number one, we're already jumping to 10, 15, 20. They're saying, oh my God, how many victims do I actually have over the years? How many are talking to the Warrior Project? How many are going to step up? Because we did have this problem. Because this woman has reigned so much terror in this community for so long that a number of people were very, very concerned and scared to come forward. So this is our solution. I'll sign a legal affidavit, any guarantee under the sun. No, if we need to collect, I know they exist. If we need to collect 20 before we go forward, I'll legally put myself on the line. We found a solution. We found the solution. And we also planted in their mind, made them think, how many victims have piled up? How many are talking to the Warrior Project right now? And what was the end result of all this stuff, guys? What was the end result? So many times I hear 99.9% of the time, no matter what people tried, it turns up snake eyes. Always negative. Always negative. To know when we're talking to our people here and we're talking about this as a success. Yeah. Because a hell of a lot of people know, a hell of a lot of moms, a hell of a lot of dads know that when they were expecting the worst, no matter what they threw at it, they got the worst. They didn't get this turnaround case. They didn't get this alternative result. And we did. From not only what we're doing here and today, but everything that we've done. Building this entire model so that all of these pieces come together to work and cause a different result in the end. No. For how many years this Elizabeth Faulkner, when she went in there with 400 pages to take a child, she was successful taking a child. And Helen would be an absolute basket case today. But because of what we did, she's trick-or-treating right now with her daughter. That's what we do here at the Warrior Project. Have a great weekend.